Hi everybody, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Hope you're all having an amazing day out there. And here to do another video. And today's video is called Light Equals Information. And in every video I do, I show you about the healing process, about how to handle all the information coming in from out there. All the negative and dark energies that are coming in from every direction. And I teach you how to go within yourself and to release that trauma off of your body. And you open up your chakras. You look at all of the trauma in your life. You go into meditation. And you look at your trauma. You look at your pain. You relive it. You feel all of those feelings that you had at that time with that experience. And you cry it out. And you let it go. You transmute the energy. Okay, you release the darkness off of you, which will help you activate more of your light within you. And you do this with one traumatic experience at a time. Okay, it's a gradual experience, but it will change your life. And this is a process that I learned how to do for myself. Changed my whole world. Stopped a lot of my triggers. And it brought me to a place of peace. Okay? And with this process, doesn't matter what's happening out there. I've learned to be able to be the observer and not internalize everything that's happening around me. And the more you can alchemize all of your dark energy into the light, transfer the energy, the more you can handle. And this is what I teach in all of my videos. But what I wanted to do today is to explain about the light. Sorry, I'm turning my heat down. It's getting hot in here. And it's pretty windy outside, so you're not going to be able to hear me if I roll my window down. But the light is source energy. It's God's energy. Creator energy. Because God is inside of you and not somewhere separate. God is everywhere, yes, especially in the natural world, but God is within you, and you have abilities to be able to go through this process and reach higher consciousness, to raise your frequency, to open up your chakras, the 7 seals in the body, okay, to open up your chakras and move upward, get out of that lower energy in the devil energy and work your way up into the heavenly energies, okay, which bring abundance into your life. And a lot of people are stuck in the lower energies because they don't know how to transmute their energy. And your body accumulates darkness. And you carry that throughout your whole life. And every time you have something traumatic happen or you go through a lot of pain, a painful experience, you just add more and more layers onto yourself. But the light is it's the God frequency. It's God's energy that you came into this world with, that you were born with. Okay? And when you're a baby, I've explained this before, but when you're a baby, you come into the world and you're a perfect little being, a perfect little light being, God's child. And as you grow up, you become more and more programmed. You learn about the world around you, and you start to have experiences. And a lot of the times you have some negative experiences that happen in your childhood. which start to change you and pull you away from God. And I'm going to add this in here too, guys, because I used to be Catholic, so I understand that whole thing, okay? I was raised Catholic, went to church, didn't understand. I mean, I did understand all of that, but I didn't connect. Didn't connect with God that way. And there's a reason why I didn't connect, because of how I feel now. And everything has changed. My belief systems have changed. So I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in the programming that comes with religion. Okay? Because I've gone through this myself. I've worked on myself. I've done a lot of healing on myself. And the more I did, the more shadow work that I did internally with all of my trauma, and that I transmuted all that negative energy off of me, the closer I became with God. I returned to God's source, to source energy. Okay? I activated my light with getting all of those layers off of me of pain. But the light is so many things. And what I've found in my own experiences is meditation is a big one. When you meditate, okay, you activate different parts of your brain that you don't normally access. And the higher you go in frequency, and the more healing you do on yourself, raising your frequency through opening up your chakras, okay, and through meditation, you receive downloads of information. And this can be in a lot of different ways. Through meditation, through your sleep, through being out in nature. You can receive information from, anything. It comes in many different forms, but you are being communicated with, okay? You have a direct connection with Source. And my spirit guides, they leave me a lot of feathers in the weirdest places, like where a feather would never be. But I receive messages, okay, and comfort, showing me that they're there. Okay, when you go through this process, you can communicate with your angels and ancestors, your guides, with Spirit, with God, the Holy Spirit. But Spirit says that they leave me feathers to show me comfort, to help me on my journey and my path. And they also leave hearts. Especially my daughter. My daughter sees hearts everywhere, and she'll be like, "Mom, look at this, another heart, another heart, another heart." I'm like, I know, it's crazy, right? And actually, one day we were walking down the sidewalk, and I didn't see it. I mean, I just walked right by it. I had my earbuds in, listening to my music or whatever, and my daughter came up behind me because I had walked right by it. She's like, "Mom, did you see that huge heart?" And I said, "No." I turned around, and there was this huge heart made out of sticks and pine cones and leaves, and it was beautiful. And it was probably, I would say 3 to 4 feet wide. It was really big, but it was right off of the sidewalk in the grass. And things like that. But yeah, my daughter sees hearts everywhere. She saw a heart in a tree. It was a knot in a tree, but it was in the shape of a heart. And she sees hearts everywhere. And I do too. Not as much as her, but I do too. And when I talk about what you focus on, you create, because you are the creator. You are part of the creator. You are here to create, like we all are. So what you focus on, you bring into this world, whether that's positive or negative. And my daughter focuses on hearts. She loves hearts. And she sees them everywhere. But that's a form of the light, a form of communication. I'll be thinking about something and Spirit will confirm it for me, or my guides will confirm it through synchronicities, through numbers, 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, because it's on a higher frequency. Like when you see 1111, and 1111 is probably one of the first numbers you will see once you start this journey and you start healing yourself. You're going to see 1111 everywhere. It means new beginnings. And you'll see it on a receipt. You'll see it on a license plate. You'll see it on the clock. You could see it anywhere. But yeah, when I'm thinking about something and a car will pass me by and it'll say 11 or 111 or 111 on the license plate, it's a confirmation for me. There's so many different ways that I get signs and synchronicities. One day I was thinking about something in a certain few people, and I heard a semi go by. I turned around and their name was on the semi in big letters. Now that was a direct confirmation. Here's another one. I was having some issues and I had to take myself to the hospital. And this was a while back. But I was very anxious. And I was driving myself there. And I was waiting for a sign. I was waiting for a confirmation of something. I knew I was going to be communicated with, okay? Because I was very anxious and my spirit guides come in to comfort me. And literally across the street from the hospital. And I don't remember if my daughter saw him first or if it was me. But I was literally almost in tears, and I remember turning to my left, and I think my daughter had said it first, but she says, "Mom, look at the deer." And they were on the corner, right across the street from the hospital at the stop sign. There was 3 deer. And one was a younger one, but they were all staring at me. And I knew they were sending me comfort. They were watching me. They were watching out for me. And that's what I talk about with the natural world, with nature, with the animals, and how they comfort me when I'm stressed out or when I need a sign. But God works through the natural world. God works through animals. I had talked about this situation not too long ago, but I was on my way somewhere where I wanted to go, but I got a sign that I wasn't supposed to go that day. But a hawk flew and almost hit my car. And I knew. Spirit was saying, nope, not today. The hawk literally turned around and went back the other way, but I saw its wingspan and it was a direct message, like, no. I get bees. Bees, obviously not right now in the winter, but bees are a big warning sign for me. Well, bees can, they land on me. They're attracted to my frequency. and my light, but sometimes bees will fly by me when they're warning me. They're warning me of something happening. It's happened quite a few times, and I know when it's happening. They'll zip right by my face. They'll zip by my phone. These are signs from the universe, from Source, to help me along my path. And when I talk about the bee thing, I was just about to lift a pot off the ground and there was a hive underneath it. So that tells you, the bee was trying to warn me. It was a big bumblebee. It wasn't a honeybee. But under the pot, it was a honeybee hive. And so I have a lot of these experiences in my life, and Spirit speaks through everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I could get I could get like a message from my car when I'm thinking about something, or I'm listening to something and my phone will beep, or I'll hear a horn somewhere confirming what I'm hearing, or there's so many different ways that you receive communication with the light. Okay? And if I think about some more, I'll add them on here, but those are a few things that I experience in my everyday life. And when we go through life accumulating layers of trauma, we have to come back. We have to learn how to come back to Source. We have to learn how to come back to how we originally came into this world, okay, as a baby. That pure being, okay, that didn't have layers of trauma on their bodies, okay? When you come in most of the time perfect, okay? And as you get older, you accumulate more and more darkness, more and more of the dark energies inside of you that just keep adding up and adding up. And it affects your heart, guys, your heart chakra. It kind of surrounds your heart with darker layers of energy. And when you are struggling in the lower energies with so much darkness on you that you haven't healed from, you don't work from your heart, you don't go through life, how do I put that? You don't go through life as much experiencing things and how do I say that? Well, using your heart over your head, right? Your mind. You're not working from your heart space. You're not in the energies of helping people and being there for others. You're working more from the me space, the ego space. What you can get from someone, or instead of helping someone else out, you're looking more towards what is it going to do for me, okay? Once you go through the lower chakras and work your way up, and you reach your heart chakra, and you work from your heart chakra on up. Okay, you're going to start balancing out your energy more and not work so much from your ego. And what that does is it balances your energies out. And it expands the light within you. Okay, you activate the light within you. You start working more from, well, you are less, you are less in the material world. You work less from the world down here, okay, the 3D plane, Earth, and you work more in the spirit. You work more from your higher chakras in the abundance energies. Okay, I mean, your ego, you can't get rid of your ego, but you can balance your ego and your heart. You can have a balance between both. My point being is that when you heal your trauma, you will eventually come to a point where you balance out your light and your dark. And you come back more to when you were a baby. When you come back into that peace mode, that inner peace place. And you work more from a childlike energy. You're not so depressed and struggling and angry and sad and in lack. You know, you're not stuck. You start attracting abundance to you once you get into the higher chakras. You start seeing synchronicities everywhere. You start being attracted to other things. Your belief systems change. Your likes are going to change. You're going to start being around different people. You're going to want different conversation. Everything is going to change around you. But the light could mean so many things on this journey. And for me, it's been amazing. On all the healing that I've done on myself. And it's a constant process, guys. There's no ending to it. My point being is that you come to a point where you feel at peace with everything else going on out there. You feel like you can get through anything. You feel like no matter what's happening in the world or in your own life, you can keep going no matter what and still feel centered within yourself, within that 0 point energy, your heart center, your heart chakra. Doesn't matter what's happening. For the most part, you're going to feel at peace. You're going to feel connected to God. You're going to be able to communicate with the natural world, with spirit. Angels, your ancestors are going to communicate with you. And you're going to be able to attain Christ consciousness. The mind is a powerful thing. And we don't access all of it. You can access all of it with a lot of hard work and a lot of healing within yourself. But there's a reason why we can only attain so much information, guys, with our brains. Because with this process, you can access more. You're not told that. This is something you have to do on your own. But it is. There's the light, guys. There's spirit. That's a big confirmation. Oh my gosh. But that's the signs I get sent, guys. Heaven sent. There it is again. Oh. But you can attain higher levels of consciousness through this process. And many have done it. Many are in the process of doing it. And I'm still on my journey as well, guys. It is a process, and everybody's at a different level. But there's so many different ways that spirit communicates with us down here. And you got to have a balance in your life with God and the plane down here. You got to have a balance, because everything is balance. Everything is both dark and light. Your darkness and your light. And the more healing you do, you will be able to attain more light, which is what I'm explaining about all the ways that the spirit realm communicates with you and helps you on your path, helps guide you. You know, if you ever have a feeling, when we've all had this, but if you've ever had a feeling of, I'm going to turn down this street, and you don't know why you need to turn down that street, but you're getting a nudge to do it. Okay, that's your intuition. That's another form of light. You're being guided, maybe away from an accident. Maybe, there's something going on that other way that spirit is trying to distract you from or to guide you away from. If you ever have a feeling like you need to stay home, or you had plans but you don't really feel like going out to go to that party or whatever, if you have a feeling that, no, I don't really want to go, there's just something just telling me to stay home. There's a reason why you're being sent that message. That's guidance. That's spiritual guidance. When you're connected, you get those messages. The spirit realm is so much more important than the plane down here. Okay? The spiritual realm is very real. Your angels are real. They're all surrounding you, and you just can't see them. And you have to ask for help when you need it. You have free will, but you can ask for help. You can ask God for help. Start connecting. The more work you do on yourself, the more spirit will see you and will help you. And the universe will always meet you halfway. We are creators down here, and whatever energy we put out there, it comes back. And the more light you activate within yourself, the more you're going to create greatness in this world and change everything for the better. And that will domino effect onto others. Your healing energy. Because we're all connected in the spirit and our souls. We are all souls connected. We are a divine collective. And the best example I give is that when you yawn, usually everybody around you yawns, because we are all connected. We are children of God. And we all have abilities. We just have to open up ourselves and do enough healing on ourselves and to go through this process to realize that we all have abilities, because we are all connected to God. But you're not told this. But I'm here to tell you that you have the ability to do it. Everybody does. You just have to put in the work, and nobody can do it for you. Each one of us, everyone, has to do it for themselves. You have to make the decision today to start this process, because I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. And eventually you're going to come to a point when you've done enough healing, you're going to be a totally different person. You are going to start to attract abundance into your life. Good luck, attract great people, your soul tribe, into your life. You are going to start to attract so many good things to you. You're not going to force things. When like when you're in the lower chakras, the lower devil energy, you're not going to force things, guys. You're not going to have to force. How do I want to put that? You don't force things into your life, you attract things once you move upward. Okay? When you're in the lower chakras, that's where all your trauma, your trauma lives, mainly. I mean, yes, it's inside your body, but when you get through the trauma and move through that devil energy, you can start moving out of that negative energy. And then you won't force things, you'll attract things into your life. I hope I explained that well. That's a little complicated. But the light could be so many things, guys. And once you realize how important the spiritual realm is around you, you're going to start paying attention. Because you're going to be shown signs everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Things that people will say to you when you're going through something. Somebody will say something to you and it's going to hit on point. Like Spirit is directly talking through that person to you. Because God works through everything. He'll work through people, things, animals, signs. Could be anything. But God will send you messages. I was told one time by my spirit guides that a child was going to talk to me one day, just come out of the blue and start talking to me and send me a message. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And I don't know what the download was going to be. Because I get messages for downloads of information. Okay? But out of the blue one day, I drove into this park area and somebody had thrown garbage all over the parking lot in this area. And it made me mad. So I got out and I picked it up and I was going to throw it away. And this little girl came out of nowhere and asked if she could help me. And I was amazed. I thought that was awesome. And I was like, okay, and so she helped me. But I was told that ahead of time that a little girl was going to come in, or a child, and was going to say something to me. And I mean, I don't know what that happened from that experience, the information I was supposed to get. But I know she was sent to me. And the mother, I said, oh my gosh, that's awesome that your little girl would want to do that. And she's like, yeah, she saw you picking that up and she wanted to help. She wanted to come over to help you. And I was like, okay. So I thought that was awesome. But there's no coincidences in your life. Everything happens for a reason. Believe it and know it. And you're being sent signs everywhere. And you might not be paying attention because you may not believe in God, or you may not believe in the spiritual realm and how it works. But they're paying attention up there, and they're paying attention to everything you do. And they're trying to get a hold of you. They're trying to get your attention. And when certain things happen around you, you can believe that you're being sent messages. They're trying to get your attention out there. You may be distracted from whatever's going on in your life, but know that they're always there. to help you when you're struggling through something or going through a hard time. They're there. And they want you to know that this process is available to you. And your angels are there for you. And God is there for you. If you ask. And all they want you to do is ask. And see the miracles, guys. See what happens. Amazing things will happen when you start connecting. Okay, when you do this work. And you will be shown. And you will be shown signs. And when you see that sign, it'll just blow your mind. Things will come out of the blue. And this, for me, this started as a child. Things started happening to me. I had someone important in my life pass away when I was little. And my mom actually predicted it. And I talked about this in one of my videos. I saw her pass by my bedroom. She got up early for some reason, and she didn't normally do that. And so I asked her why she was up early. My bed was right there by my door. And she says, I don't know. Something told me I had to get up early today. I feel like something's going to happen. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Well, a couple hours later, she gets a phone call that one of their best friends died in a car accident. He had a heart attack. Hit a bridge. And this was an important friend. My parents always used to play cards with him. And actually, we'd all play cards. Not all the time, but I went out on my porch. And I was bawling. I was devastated, I was crying, and this little butterfly came out of nowhere. Started flying in front of me. And it was probably about like that big. And it was fluttering around in my face. And it landed on my hand. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. So I'm just kind of looking at it. And it flew off my finger. And I was watching it. And it landed again on my hand. And it did this about, I don't know, it was like maybe 3 or 4 times. But I was thinking about Bill. And my intuition kicked in, and I knew it was Bill. I knew he was comforting me. And Spirit was comforting me. But I knew that was Bill saying goodbye. And so I've had these experiences throughout my life, not realizing it totally. I didn't realize the connection that I had as a young child. And I grew away from God for a long time, but God was always protecting me. I had a miracle moment years ago in an ice storm. And I talked about this before, and I'm not going to tell this story, but an angel saved me from freezing to death. My car got a flat tire during an ice storm. And there was nobody around for miles in every direction. I was on the highway. And there was no vehicles anywhere around me. And I turned around a few different times to look at downtown Oklahoma City. And it just looked so warm. All the lights looked very warm, with the orange lights. It was so cold. My heater was broken in my car. I couldn't get warm in my car. Couldn't get warm either way. Trying to change my tire. Couldn't even do that because I wasn't prepared. Didn't have gloves, didn't have jacket. I didn't have the news stations. I didn't have cable at the time. I had just moved into my place, pretty much. But I wasn't prepared. I didn't know a storm was coming, an ice storm. But by the third time I had turned around and I knew there was nobody coming, I had just looked in the other direction, and all of a sudden a light came up behind me. And it was a man in a tow truck. He got out, asked if I needed help, and told me to go get warm in my car, which I couldn't do because I didn't have a heater going at the time. It was broke. But he changed my tire and took off in his tow truck and took off. All I could see was his eyes. Everything else was covered. And I didn't put two and two together at first, but that was an angel, guys. An angel saved me. And what I didn't realize is that we have free will down here, but the angels can't help us unless we ask. But if there's an emergency situation, they have the right to come in to save you. And that's what they did. They saved me that day. My angel. This is how the light works, guys. The light is source energy, is God frequency. And you can attain it. You just have to do some work on yourselves. Meditate as much as you can. Ask for assistance. Ask for help. And you will be sent signs. You will be sent synchronicities. You will be sent information on your path. Because the light equals information. It is communication from the spiritual realm, from God, directly from source. And this is what the light is. So, I hope that helps you understand the light, about light energy, about God energy, source, and how God connects with you and works with you in your life, if you let Him. And I hope you let Him today help you. Bring in the light to your life and let Him work through you and see the miracle happen. Okay, guys, that's it for today. This is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Peace, love, and light. Bye. Love you all.